welcome to Clash Culture. We're doing a 1v1 with the one and only Mayambela today. Mag, umnat.
Kimnat mkhotyak. Wena ushap.
Like I saw the other day you actually tweeted or it would be nice to see Coach Pizzo, Coach Kompela, Sinesi for like talking about their journeys. And little did people know that you and I had this planned.
Now, I was saying because most of the time we're always reading about the European coaches and the European players. We always hear the case studies about other teams as well. I think also when they share their journey, I think it's also relevant to us as South Africans, because these are the people that we see every day, or we see almost every day. When he says, for me to get where I am, I went through this and that.
Yeah.
It can relate to someone else, to say if Coach Pizzo has been through this and the same journey that I am in this moment, it means I'm also, in the right track, and I also have the chance, to become one of the best, Coach Pizzo and also Coach Steve and also Coach Rulani and also Coach Snare, So when they talk about their journey, I think it's a bit, I think it's relevant to us, even if Mark Mayambela, when Mark Mayambela speaks about his journey as well, I think it also speaks to abantu that are from the township, that are from the same background, as Mark Mayambela. So it will be kind of inspiring, because as much as we read about Zidane and we read about Pep Guardiola and we read about all these great people, and what they did in their countries, but I think it speaks more to us when Coach Pizzo or Coach Rulani, tells his story, and his journey, about his life and about his football. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, Mark, I think you're easily one of in South African fan culture. We have these things we call fan favorites. You had a cult following because of what you did on the field, and I think I just want us to just rewind back, where it started for you. You posted the other day, where yourself and your younger brother, Mayambela, to say you guys played, your journey is similar. You started the same place, you played for Old Mutual, you played for, and you at one point in Sweden, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So where did it start for you, Mark? Where did this love for football start for you?
Okay, of course. I'm from Khayelitsha in Cape Town, and it's obvious that in my time, each township or each section of Khayelitsha had their own players and their own teams. So me now I'm from SC section, whereby there was a team that was called Fast 11. That I would say 95% of the boys that are from my section played for that team, and also some players from other sections as well, that would come, to play with us, so that's where I started to play football, in a very young age, because also I had other older brothers that also played football, but my oldest brother never played for First 11, played for another team that is called Cape Town Leeds, that went on to play, I think, SAB in those years, in the 90s, so he was a player, and then he also became a coach, of that particular team as well. So I also had my other brother that played for the same team that I played with. I think also it was proper for Mikhari, I think, to also play, when he was growing up in the same setup, you know what I mean? So that's where I started playing football. Obviously, as any other boy, who always play football in the streets. There will always be this tournament where, this street will bet with the other street for 1 rand, You know, we play one ball on the streets, you know. So it all started there, you know, from a very young age. Maybe I would say 7, 8, 9, you know. I'm playing there, you know. But also, you know, in those ages, you know, there's not much people can really recognize in terms of talent, you know, because you know, we were all, if I may put it, we were all raw in that time, and it was in our early, you know, ages of football as well and of life as well. So there was also not proper coaching as well. There was no coaching and stuff. So everything that we did and we knew in that time, we learned it from playing in the street. You know, from playing, you know, that one ball, you know, in the street, you know, all these other games, you know, that kids play in the street.
Yeah. Who were your role models at that time? Like, if I were to come to a 7-year-old, 8-year-old Mayambela and ask, who's your favorite player right now? Who was that guy?
No, I never had a role model that time in football. I think the only time where I started maybe really knowing football, like watching football, maybe it was later on in my years, maybe when I was 12, 13, 14, maybe when I started watching football really. But in my very like early ages, not really. I'm sure maybe it was my brothers. They were the ones that were playing football, and they were playing first team football. You know, I think they were my role models in that time, and I also, you know, I would go and watch them play. You know, sometimes when it's cold, and I would take his jacket, you know, and I would wear it, you know. So I would be this young boy wearing this big jacket, you know. You know, I'm supporting my older brothers, you know. Yeah. And I will also carry his bag. I will also carry his boots. You know, even before the game, you know, at home, he would say, "Hey, polish my soccer boots." Yeah. So I would also do that as well, you know, because I'm so excited to go and watch him play. Yeah. You know, and also watch other great players that were there in that time play. So, and I'm sure polishing those boots that time felt like you also contributed to the game for that day. No, of course. While you're polishing, you're busy talking to them that they must score. He must score today. You know. Yeah. Yeah. I think he was my role model at that time. Yeah. So when you started watching football at the age, like when you were a teenager, 12, 13, who's the one player that really like caught your attention at that time? Because at home, I think all of us we were Kaizer Chiefs supporters, including my brother. Yeah. So we in that generation, that Kaizer Chiefs generation, Frank Makua, that generation before Abu Kumalo. I think those were the players that I watched most, about Tabang Leveste, and also when Sigmo started to play. So those were the players that I look up to and players that I watched playing. Yeah. You know, and also, you know, I remember we used our coach was a Manchester United supporter, so he would call me Gigs, you know, because of the left foot and because of the position that I played. You know, so those are the players that we watched, you know. So, you know, sometimes they will give you this name and you don't even know this player, so you'll be curious enough to say, hey, let me watch this Manchester United. And I think that's when also the love for Man United also grew, you know, because of, you know, the nickname that I got from my ex-coach, Tamni, that's Wangbizu Gigs. Even today, sometimes he calls me Gigs. You know. So when you were playing football at that age, you in Khayelitsha, you were known as Gigs. Not really. Not everyone called me with that name. I think most people called me Lupi. You know, they used Ulupi as that was the nickname that I had. You know, Ulupi. Yeah, because everyone that I grew up with knows me as Ulupi. So I think that's what a lot of people were calling me. He was the only one actually who was calling me Gigs. Yeah. Okay. So so Mark, tell me, like, how did the move to Bloemfontein Celtic happen? In 2006, I was playing for Old Mutual Academy. Old Mutual Academy had a Vodacom team that is, it's ABC Mutipi now. But then it was called the Vodacom League. So I went there, and then I was playing for Old Mutual Academy, but I was playing for the first team, which is the Vodacom League. So this one season, we were playing a game against the AEK Cape Town. They also had a second team that played in the Vodacom League. So we were playing a league game. Yeah, we were playing a home game with them, but we were never told that David Modise and AEK Augusti, AEK Augusti was the brother to Uchimo Augusti, which is the owner of then. And the ICO, and then David Modise, I think he was the second assistant to Ukabo Zondo and also the scout of the team. So I saw, and then I started to notice with David Modise, and he was wearing this this green Bloemfontein Celtic jacket, So we were playing this game. I was playing as a left back, we played. I had a great game, but we lost 2-1. But I remember that we scored first, and I created that goal from a cross. I think Roscoe Peterson now he plays for Cape Mo. He also played for SuperSport United. He was our striker back then. So he crossed and then he scored. So after the game, when we are walking back to our changing rooms, I could overhear Ulendo David Modise standing with Aiki and the owner of the academy back there, Dr. Bush. We called him Dr. Bush. I could hear David Modise saying, "This one, lo. We're speaking to Aiki and speaking to the boss of the academy." But I never paid much attention to that. We went back. We showered. And then we went home. That was in 2007. The same year in 2007, about April, I got a call from this other guy, Mike. I think he's the coach of Real Kings now. And then he said, "Hey man, I have a connection for Free State Stars. Don't you want to go on trials to Free State Stars?" I think it's that season that they got promoted to PSL. And then I said, no problem. And then I was in the bus to Kwakwa. And then I think I stayed there for about 2 weeks. But now the season was about to end. I was told that I must come back for pre-season. And because I think they won the league 3 games before the end. So I took a bus. And also in that moment, I never had bus money to travel back to Cape Town. So now Mike, I think, called one of the guys in the stage. They gave me money for a taxi to Bloemfontein. So I took a taxi from Kwakwa to about 2 hours, I think. I took a taxi from Kwakwa to Bloemfontein. And already in Bloemfontein, he had made arrangements with Lebogang Kukame, who was a player, Bloemfontein Celtic back then. And I wasn't aware. He just told me that there's a friend of mine who will take away a few of Bukeli bus, and then my bus, he will take you to the bus station, and then you can take a bus back to Cape Town. So really, we took a taxi, and then when I was in Bloemfontein, I'm like, "Hey man, I know this guy. This is Lebogang Kukame." And then we went back to his house. And I think it was a Sunday. When I'm at his house, I see Sisi Sengobes, I see Kapelo Liao, I see Ndogozo Skakan, I see Kapelo Liao. Who else was there? But all these guys, Lakim Ziz, Heyban, these are Bloemfontein Celtic players, And I'm still starstruck, and mind you, even the fact that David Modise was in Cape Town, I'm not. It's not even on my mind. I'm just amazed. I mean, a Golf 5 GTI, a red one, leather seat. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I went to his house, and the guys were there. They were crying. I had some meeting. When it was time for me to go to catch the bus, he asked one of his guys, "Hey man, tata lomfana yombeka emabhasi." I took my bus, came back to Cape Town, continued with life. You know, back to Vodacom League again. I played for All Mutual Academy. Nothing came from. I never spoke to these guys from Free State again, and even Mike, you know. But also, I'm still young. You know, I mean, I'm still young. As long as I'm paying, I'm earning 850 per month. I'm good, you know.
Life is good.
Yeah. September, the same year in 2007, the very same year, because I went to Free State around about Easter time in April. Yeah. In September, I get a call from the chairman of the academy that say you need to go to Pretoria and train with Supersport United. And it was that season that it was Gavin's hand first season. So I went I took a flight. I still remember British Airways to Joburg, Banglanda Airport. We went to Pretoria, to this house in Attersville where their youngsters stayed. We trained. I think I arrived on Monday morning, and then I trained Monday afternoon. Tuesday we played a friendly with Beds. I played. Hey, I was getting cramps. The level is high.
Yeah.
I'm cramping, you know, and Abu Tiko, Abu Mashiko, Abu Mpela, you know, all that team, Abu Isaac Mabota, Abu George Mufuking, all these great players that I've been watching on TV, and I'm starstruck and what am I gonna do? So we played this game against Red, and then the following day, that's when the Pirates signed Tiko Modise. Because we played this on the same game on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday he was announced that he signed for Pirates, you know. And then we were training, and then I got injured. You know, I got injured at training. I was kicked by Isaac Mabot, and I twisted my ankle, and then when I twisted my ankle, and then it was swollen, so I couldn't train anymore. So now I was forced now to come back to Cape Town. Coming back to Cape Town, still I'm not hurt, nothing. As long as I played football, you know, I went back to the academy. I played, and in that moment now I even changed position. I was playing as the midfielder now, and then I got a call again from around about November the same year. I get a call from the academy's boss. Say, Mark, remember when the Bloemfontein people were there? Yeah, so they want you to come for 2 weeks in Bloemfontein. I'm also in a flight again to Bloemfontein. I spent 2 weeks there, and then now I start to see, and all these guys that I saw the other day. You know, I started to tell him, hey man, remember this and this. I said, yeah, it's you, hey, Uring boy, sharp. You know, so now I'm under his arm now. You know, he's the one that now is taking care of me, Nabo Tapelo Liao, you know, because they were all friends, Nabo Ntokozo Skakane and Nabo Lakim, and I'm still a youngster in that time. You know, that is November 2007, and then I trained with them in this team in Nabo Carlos Sport, Nabo Gereko Stone, Timothy Batabaire, Abo John Maduka, you know, all these great players, Abo Shai Bolters, you know. So I trained with them in Kali Clubhouse, and then I met to Cabo Zonda. I met to Benjamin Reid, who was his assistant, and David also was there. You know, I trained with them, and then they were interested. Go to Bayang sign. Yeah. And then I signed a 2-year and 6-month contract in that season in the same month in November. And then I came back to Cape Town. You know, because the season was almost the break was it was like December break. So I came back to Cape Town. I came back to Cape Town, came back to the academy. I started to play again. I played again. When the season was finished, maybe second week December, Bank qualified back to Bloemfontein because they wanted me to come so that I can understand, you know, and also meet other players and other people as well. So, and then I went back to Bloem, stayed for 2 weeks, and then came back here for holidays like December and Christmas week. You know, I stayed with my family. I signed for Bloemfontein Celtic. You know, and still, I gotta think this is happening. You know, I gotta understand this whole thing. You know.
So how old are you then?
I went back. I'm 20. I'm 20 then. I'm 20. Yeah, I was 20. I was 19, turning 20.
Yeah.
Because I remember that year I played the Ipe Cup. So, and then I started to stay in Bloemfontein permanently in 2008, January, when we went back for Ireland for
the second round of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, the second round of the season. And again, remember when they scouted me, when David Modise and Iko Bustu was in Cape Town, I was playing as a left back.
Yeah.
For the academy. So now they know me as this left back. You know, I go forward, I come back, I go forward, I come back. I'm still young, you know. And even now, these other players, they're saying, but when we left the game, you know, and the coach Young Tanda, you know, was on to love me, you know, and also now, you know, he treated me well, you know, Akuluma Nami, Ankaida, even the other players. I think it was a blessing that I signed with Bloemfontein Celtic because of the players that were there. You know, players like Abo Tapilu Liao, you know, they bang Kata, bang Paga Ana, their arm, bang Fundisa, and then about professional football and about being a professional, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, obviously, a brief mindset because of the academy, because these are the things that we are taught in the academy, and how to behave and how to be a professional as well. And our academy was great. You know, we had good people, you know, that were part of the academy, because we were coached by who was also an ex-Bafana player, Santos, and all this. You know, so he also understood being a professional player. So he was also instilling that in us. You know, so it was really much, you know, of a struggle to adapt to professional football. You know, and then I played my debut game against the Cape Town here in Cape Town.
Yeah.
But we lost 3-1. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my debut day, my debut season as a professional footballer.
Yeah, and I remember Uti, your debut was against Ajax Cape Town. I mean, you can easily say like it was written in the stars. Like, imagine going all the way to Bloemfontein only to make your Premier League debut in your hometown against Ajax Cape Town. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was. I think it was special, and I think, as you say, it was all God's plan. The fact that I played my first debut game and my whole family was there, my friends were there, and people are still, amazed by the fact that I'm from Khayelitsha, and you know, I'm playing for Bloemfontein Celtic, and you know, Bloemfontein Celtic, the kind of team that they are. You know, Abantu Baitanda, Abantu, you know, they respect the brand, they respect the team. You know, and man, I'm here, and no one saw. I think from my hood, no one saw me playing professional, especially for Bloemfontein Celtic. You know, and it came as a surprise to a lot of people, because I remember my oldest brother was in prison back then. So we went to visit him. You know, and I'm sensing it professional. I'm sensing it all, and I hear, because in the timing, because he was arrested in 2001. So he's been in prison for all these years. So he hasn't been out. So now we are in 2008. You know, he's been in prison for about 8-9 years. You know, so we came to visit him, and then the first thing he asked was, "Hey, are you a good football player?" Yeah, and then he asked, "Are you better than Msab'Ungamazi?" You know, that's the question that he asked me. Are you better than Msab'Ungamazi? And I'm like, because Msab'Ungamazi was more established in that time. You know, he was older than me. He is older than me, actually. You know, so those are the two questions that he asked me, you know, and I could understand, because really no one saw it coming. No one had, like, in their faintest dream, who would have a professional football player in me. You know, not because maybe I was not a good player, but you know, when you grow up in a township, the mentality is that our role models are the guys that are driving these nice cars, are the guys that are carrying the guns, are the guys that are doing all these nasty things, because they are the ones that have the money. They have all the beautiful women, they have all the beautiful clothes, they have all the beautiful cars, you know. So to us, these are because I cannot say Dr. Kumalo is my role model because I only see him on Saturdays.
Yeah.
If I see him, because some Saturdays, I'm playing a tournament that lasts until maybe about 6, from 7 in the morning until about 5, 6 in the afternoon. Playing football, so I wasn't even really watching. So I cannot say maybe they are my role models. You have your neighbor, your next door neighbor. You know that hey, and he has this money and all these beautiful women. And also my brothers, they also in this life, So now these are the people that you see as your role models, and the people that you see and the life that is portrayed, in Kuma Township. This is the life, So now when you're there, like when you speak with your friends, you are like, hey, Nami man, it was back in Fox, man. Golf one. Those were the cars that were relevant back then. Golf 2. We are 2020. We all had these names. So that was the life that we all knew in that time. As much as we played football, but really there was no real inspiration that we can say we have our own. So when that's why hence when I turned professional, when I signed for Bloemfontein Celtic, it was a shock to a lot of people. I think to everyone, and I'm sure including myself. But of course, God works in His own ways. It had to happen, and then I had to come and play my debut game in front of my people, the people that I grew up in front of, my family. My mom was there, my brother Umisali was there, everyone was there, and then now the love for Bloemfontein Celtic in my hood started to grow. People started to buy. I'm a t-shirt of Bloemfontein Celtics. Now also in social media, people are sending me pictures. Hey, look, now we are supporting Bloemfontein Celtics. We're no longer supporting Chiefs. We're no longer supporting Pirates. So now you're getting all these messages. Also on your phone as well. I remember, I think it was that time of our mixi. So. So in now, man, Mayambela, and I think from then I grew strength to strength. They say,
yeah. The one of the most memorable games, and I think it's the first game that really caught my attention, and to know who Mayambela was, obviously, is the game against Chiefs, Muribe, where you scored the free kick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a special game. But I think for me, I played, and then we played a game against Amazulu, came in as a sub. The game that young Fage in doing in Bloemfontein. I'll tell you now. It's one game. We were playing Platinum Stars. Platinum Stars in Alia team yabo Manenze yabo Taylor Shabala. If you remember that team.
I do. Yeah.
I'm on the bench. Yes, I'm on the bench. I was Solomon Mate. Yeah, young is that crew.
Yeah.
Oscar Ntoakhaya, I remember. I think he was also there. So we are playing at home in Bloemfontein at Cesar Ramabudu Stadium. I'm on the bench, Umanenza shy 1, Umanenza shy 2, 2-0 siyadliwa.
Yo.
Angazi ukuthi babengifaka or it was God planned. Ngangena kule game. Ngangena ngenza. Ngangena ngenza kule game. It was before the Chiefs game. Before this game that you're talking about. Ngangena ngenza kule game. I remember ulendo and mangena e-ground ngimile lapha yana ngiyabona nje ngizenza ready ukuthi ngizongena. I could hear abantu because the grandstand was closed. So abantu were like, Kimang mfano. Wawathiwa bablo. Kimang mfano. Kimang kamo linang zakile, I confidence ayikho, but this thing nje ngai strength ukuthi yazi ngihamba ngena manje uqedela abantu. Ngiyene vele engenza. I remember Sebastela Shabalala ngekhona is like, hey wena mnyamana. Ungani wena? Wena wena. Emnyamana. Ngabenzela ntwana. Ngabenzela. Hey man, awurelax wena emnyamana. Ngapha ngizayibona mfili yakho. Emnyamana. How relax wena. Usheba kusela shabalala. Vele the game ended 2-0. So obviously after the game, kunama interviews, bayangibiza since ngisaseyang, okay, come for an interview lapho I speak this English nyana yami lapho. So after the game there's a tradition in Bloemfontein that players go to the supporters. So while the players are going to the supporters, I'm busy interview. Yeah, so ngisha interview, ngisha lesungu sami sipholile. Mara the supporters are chasing the guys away because we lost 2. Vele mababuya kanje mina mangithi ngiyakubo ukuthi ngiyabona ngiyaba approach bangibize lapha ngiyabona mona i-crowd yonke iyaphakama ngibona bathi sekwenzakala kubekho ulendo usilonduna athi man labantu bayabiza bafuna wena vele ngiye ngoku angazi ukuthi bangibizelani bafuna ukungishaya ngiye vele mangiya lapha bashanye labantu bashaya izandla yabona nje manje sekunale vibe. And from that game, my friend, not everything changed for me in Bloemfontein. I'm telling you, everything changed. I started to play regularly. I started to score goals. I started to make things happen for the team. You know, I'm famous. Wherever I go in Bloemfontein, when I go to school, you know, I have just this thing. And abantu bangazi Mayambela, and then that's when even the nickname your professor came about.
I was about to ask who the Ivela would be this nickname.
Yes, I remember what I was explaining it to the other day. I was doing an interview on radio saying the reason Mark was we gave Mark this nickname. We saw something special about Mark that China as Bloemfontein Celtic supporters we never had. We understand that, and we're not even seeing it in PPSL in that time. So we thought, this guy is our professor. He's the guy that will teach our players this way of playing football, because they felt I played the football according to the tradition or the culture of Bloemfontein Celtic. You know, because when you look back about the players that they had, you know, they had some similar, you know, and they were also players that were loved by the supporters. So that's how the nickname Professor came about. And now I have Uba Tukada on City FM. They making noise about this professor, and they know the name, but they don't know the face. You know, so. I started to grow in Bloemfontein, and I became, you know, a household name. You know, not only in football, I was also influential in, you know, in other things that, you know, they would call me for school, like talks, you know, to motivate Abandona primary school. Abandona would go crazy, would go mad, you know. So it started from then, and that was before the game against Kaizer Chiefs. And I remember from the Kaizer Chiefs game, it made things worse. It made things worse.
Yeah, and you started catching the attention of big clubs, because at that time, if you score a goal, like a free kick against Chiefs, and you have good performances, man of the matches, you know, come transfer time, there will be talk that he's wanted by big teams, Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, and then at the time, Sundowns was signing everyone. And how did you make the move to Orlando Pirates from Bloemfontein Celtic?
Yeah, when really in that time, I spoke to these big clubs personally. I remember before the season ended in 2008, 2009. I had Utrod, you know, I could call him anytime. He would call me and say, hey, boy, you had a good game. Don't worry, boy. You know, we'll make this thing happen. Don't worry, at the end of the season, you know. So even the team knew, you know, the offers, and then they would say, hey, Mark, you must tell us where you're going to go.
Yeah.
You know? But in that time, Angaga Kulum in Orlando Pirates, you know, it was only Sundowns and Chiefs in that time, in that season. And then the next season, I met Tim Sugat, and then we met, and then he was my agent. You know, because I remember Paul Michel was the one that wanted to take me to Sundowns. And he was like, Mark, let's make this thing. Let's make the money, man. You know? This is this. In Ngapi Sundowns, I remember Stochkov was the coach. So, I really, but with Tim Sogazi, and he had a good relationship with Pirates, you know. Then I ended up signing for Orlando Pirates in 2010. I remember we were in Pretoria with Bloemfontein Celtic for a pre-season. And then while we were in pre-season, I got a call from Tim Sogazi saying, hey, that we have a meeting with Mr. Court. And then we went to the meeting, and then I ended up signing, and then took my bags. I joined the Pirates.
So when you went to Pirates, Mark, I think when you went to Pirates, like there was so much that was expected from you. Like your first season, how was your first season with Pirates for you personally?
You know, overall, I believe it was a good season. As much as I thought maybe I could have maybe played more. I could have started more games. But when you look at it, I think I played 24 games and coming as a sub. You know, and also it's a strategy that our coach had in that moment, because he saw that element that I had of coming in as a sub and changing the game. You know, and I also remember when towards the end of the season, about the Inkate were injured, you know, and then now Abanyabandu were starting before me, and you know, I spoke to Coach Craig Rose and said, Coach, why are these people playing in front of me? You know what I mean? Because I'm you know, I'm trying, you know, I'm changing the game, I'm doing this. Don't I deserve a place in the lineup? And then Craig Rose said to me, you know what, Mark, the risk is, that was his explanation. The risk is that if we start with you and then you don't have a good game, chances are we're not going to have someone that will come in and change the game. Because that was something that I have been doing all this time, you know, and it was also working for the club. I would come in, we change the game, we win. Because most of the game, I'm sure maybe 15 or out of 15 games in the second round, I would say 12 or 13 or 12 games, we won them in the last 10 minutes or we drew them in the last 10 minutes of the game, you know, with my influence. So that was the argument, you know, and I understood, you know, in that moment, and I was like, okay, no, if that's the case, then that's fine, you know. So I continued, and and then in Napa we were winning car, we were winning. You know, we won the league, and Napa bonus, you know. So there's no much, stress, you know. And also, and then manje, what happens is, but they don't renew the contract. Root crawl. And then a Brazilian came
Julio Leal.
Julio Leal. This guy, Mark Mayambela. He's crazy about Mark Mayambela. I'm saying to myself, this season done. This season I'm killing it. There's no hey, this guy and ngapha nami ngibuyile man, ngiyazizwa nasekazini, ngiyazizwa ukuthi yazi this season is mine. Ngapha ngihlala as a number 10. So you understand? There's Dinklage on the right and the left. There's Close Fulela on the right. On the right in front. Because figure after Vodacom challenge. I'm playing as a number 10. You know, ngapha behind me, no open, no Andile. But we just signed the Msab'Ungamazi at the back. No this team is strong. There's no way. We are going all out. And now me pre-season I'm flying. Ngala is the number 10. This is Yama making that now I understand. You know, sometimes I understand how did you do this, you know, in the game, in the friendly game. It's still pre-season. We go to play in the hot spares. I come in as a sub. Hey, I crush these people. Luka Modric. Angibezwa, man. Yeah, I'm having a time of my life, and I'm like, you know, this season, what ego did, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna win the play of the season. You know, I have this confidence. Confidence. Hey, angazi what happened. I think stuff to change, you know. But I understand it's part of life, it's part of football. It's also part of growing up. You know, there are things that you deal with. You know, some you don't have power of. You know, so you just give in. You know, I think from then and things never like really happened. I think the only time that I enjoyed my football is Pirates. It's my first season at Pirates. I would say compared to the other two seasons.
Yeah, and then when you were at Pirates, you know, like that's how football is. It has its highs and then it has its lows. And of course, when you go high, there will be time when it goes down. What do you think was the biggest misconception about you at Pirates when things were not going well?
No, I think also it disappointed a lot of people, the fact that I had this potential and they've seen what I've done in Bloemfontein Celtic. You know, I remember this other game we played in Nedbank Cup with Orlando against Pirates. I was playing for Bloemfontein Celtic, and after the game, I still now look at Umiki Modisani is working for Orlando Pirates, and I see him running to me. You know, I felt like I'm an Orlando Pirates player. You know, and he was like, and you know. So now everyone was expecting Gutiérrez, you know, Mark from this level he's gonna go to this level, and from this level he's gonna, you know. Yeah. So it never happened, and I think there were a lot of Abandi were disappointed. You know, they were disappointed with the fact that I don't play. Sometimes I'm on the stand, and Manksel stands watching the game. Mama supporters actually are busy looking at me, and the game is on. You know, what's going on? You know, so. I think Abandi were more disappointed with the fact that I had all this great potential to make it and to become this best player that they had in their mind. And when they saw, and you must also remember, Bloemfontein Celtic is a team that is loved by Abandi, even people from other teams as well. Yeah. So even now, if Chiefs plays on Saturday, the home game, since Ramapodi Stadium, we are there, we're going to watch this Mayambela because, you know, he's going to do things. You know, so I think that disappointed Abandu and then Abandu Babakala Baporega. You know, even the Pirates supporters tried, even when the black label came, you know, with the votings and stuff. They voted me, I would play. You know, sometimes Baba will keep on half time and you know, all these things. So yeah. But yeah, for me it was a journey that I needed to you know, to embark in, and it was a period that I needed to go through. You know, I think with all those challenges and everything that happened in that moment, you know, I believe Uguti, I was meant for me, Uguti, to go through that. You know, it was something that was supposed, Uguti, to build me as this person that I am. You know, because as much as I have this potential, or I had this potential when I was at Bloemfontein Celtic, but also the football, it also shows Uguti, football is not everything in life. You know, especially in my life. You know, it is part of my life. It is something that I love. It is something that changed my life, you know. But there is more to life than football, you know, and there is more. There are greater things that we can appreciate in our life besides being, you know, a football player or a great football player. You know, so for me, it's also, you know, it's a lesson that I've been learning all through these years with all the stages that I've been through. You know, and also using, you know, the influence that I have, you know, in football, and also passing this message, because at the end of the day, we need a band that will say, I was here, and now people that will speak to people, because we must also remember, that will also go through the same thing. You know, maybe they will go through even worse situation. So we need a band that can say, I've been in this situation, you know, I've been in this kind of situation, and this is how I handled it, you know. So the sooner we do that, and the sooner we have those kind of people that can also assist in that manner, I think the better for us, because life, you know, itself has its own ups and downs. You know what I mean? So Abanyabandu cannot handle these ups and downs. You know, I don't think there's a lot of players that can play the football for 10, 20 12, 15 years. You know, there's little to none. You know, so for me not to play 13 years, you know, now in professional football, high level football, you know, it's also a blessing to me. You know, a lot of abantu that I've played with, you know, it's Bloemfontein Celtic, they don't play anymore. And in Kulma, and people that were younger than me, you know, they don't play football anymore. They are nowhere to be found. The players that I've played with at Orlando Pirates, some of them are nowhere to be found. And I'm talking about players that were even younger than me, you know what I mean? So the fact that I'm still here and I'm still playing football, you know, it shows that, you know, Nkulunkulu has better plans for me in my life, you know what I mean? And I cannot take that for granted because maybe I didn't have a great career in football in other people's maybe mentality or perception, you know. So, but for me now, being a professional football every day is a blessing to me, and it's a blessing also to my family as well. You know, because I managed to change in below family in Israel because of what I did, you know, before then. You know, with this same career, I've been, you know, inspiring footballers. They are young people wherever in South Africa, wherever I go, there will always be a Mayambela that is named after me. You know what I mean? So to me, those situations, they show good. You know what, Mark? As much as Abandi will have this mentality, you could have done this, you could have done that, but in your own capacity or in your own world, you have been successful in a sense. If you have used this tool in football to inspire Abantu, you know, when social media, I get Abantu will say, you know what, Mark, you inspire me. You know, I get social media Abantu that will say, I want to be like you one day, you know. And I always tell them, you must be more than, you know, you must achieve more than that. What I've achieved. It's also what I tell my brother to say, you know, as much as you are where you are, but I want you to be the best. I want you to become better than me. You know, I don't mind when someone can walk up to me and say, your brother is better than you. And that will actually bring, you know, joy in me, saying that, you know, this is also my dream for him to be better than me and to achieve more than me, and to see other young players, even in Khayelitsha and other societies and other communities, doing better than me. You know what I mean? I think that's also our duty as people of influence, you know, to always have that, to bring that hope to people. This very same hope that maybe Tina, in our time, we never really got. But since Monday, we in this position, I would say position of privilege. It's important that we use this privilege and we use this influence to help, you know, the other youngster. When I was a keeper, you know, I used to tell other players, I wasn't trying to say, you guys are still young, you know, you must grasp as much as you can in art and learn as much as you can with our careers and our career path, you know, and don't go through the same things that we went through. You know, the sooner you realize that as a footballer, the better, you know. If it took Mayambela until he was 30 to realize, I could have done this, I could have done that. It's easy for you because, man, you have seen this already from Mayambela. So use Mayambela's career and Mayambela's career footpath and say, hey, but if I cannot do that and this and this and this and take the good one and use it in your career, it will help you as a footballer, you know. And the sooner you do it, the better for you. Because when you are a 24-year-old that now understands this, you know, and knows all of this, you know, it's easy for you now to succeed. And now you're also prolonging your career, you know, you're also prolonging your life as well, you know. So I think me now in my career and what I've been through, it's just God saying that I need to use all those challenges and to help Abanyabafana to realize their potential and to realize their dream as soon as possible. You know, Nami, I would have loved to have Umuntu that would say to me, hey man, don't do this, do that. You know, earlier in my career, maybe when I was still in Bloemfontein, maybe I would be playing for Manchester United today. You know what I mean? So, but Nkulunkulu had his own plans, and plans that no one could have hindered. You know, only him wanted me to be where I am today, so that I can speak to you and tell you about all these things, you know, and also help a youngster in the PSL or NFT or even lower than that, you know, to realize their dream and to realize their potential as soon as possible, you know, and then you do the right things. When you start doing the right things as soon as possible in your career, I think the better for you, you know, and the better chance that you will have, you know, of success. That's why you see players like Abo Pesita are where they are in a very young age.
Yeah.
Even Abo Michali themselves, you know, where, because he was also, I told him, you know, use my downfalls, use everything that you people see as a downfall, use it to your advantage and not do what I did and not react and don't react how I react, you know, because sometimes when something happens to you, you react, but when it happens a lot of times, now you start to understand it doesn't, let me react differently.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So also now there are things that maybe I could have reacted differently in my career, you know, but as I said to you, it was moments that I had to go through, and no one can change it, and no one will change the future for me and what I'm gonna go through besides the man above, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And if there's one trend that I've realized about your career is that you're not afraid of being without a club until like you feel like you're doing something right or you are at the right club. I mean, when you left Aces before you went to Europe, you stayed without a club, and then you went to Europe, came back, you didn't have a club, and then you went to Royal Eagles, you went to Chipa, and then stayed without a club still, and then went to Cape Town City. And even in Cape Town City, when it didn't work out, even now, you don't have a club. Is there something also in the works now for you to get a club and continue playing your football, or what's the situation?
Now, of course, it is maybe a plan or a wish or a desire to play football again. You know, I think that I can also offer a lot. You know, but also it also depends on the man above. You know, you know, when he decides something about your life, you know, no one can stand in front of it. You know, he can change it, you know, in a blink of an eye. You know, what's important for me is just to follow his lead, you know, with whatever that I'm doing. Of course, I will speak to teams, I will speak to people, you know, I will speak to coaches and administrators, you know, to try and get a job. But everything else, you know, is up to him, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel and how I do things, you know.
Yeah. And then is there something that you're still doing like in football now that you are still in a search for a club, like maybe like do you have any other interest, like maybe like in coaching or?
Yeah, and I do have, and I believe I still wanna be part of football, you know. I wanna give back to football because it has done a lot for me, you know.
Yeah.
It has changed my life. It has changed my family's well-being. You know, when I remember when I was still playing for Orlando Pirates, I would get a call maybe from my aunt or my uncle, and my uncle would say, "Hey, daughter, because I told Abandu, I'm your uncle, you know." Abantu, you know, my aunt, you know, they feel proud, you know, my family feel proud that the Mayambela surname went from nothing to something, you know. They feel proud to be called Bangabo Mayambela, you know. And you can see my career and me turning a professional footballer. It didn't only change my life, it changed their lives as well, because when they go to an interview for Umsebenzi, and then you see whoever Mayambela, and then the first question that they get is that, do you know Mark Mayambela? You know, so when you look at it, I've done enough, and football has done a lot for me, not only for me and my family as well. So there's no way I can turn my back, even if tomorrow I can maybe win the Powerball at 200 million. I would give back to football in Especially, the most important thing also is to use our experience to inspire as much as we can and to give hope to as much as we can to the upcoming young players. That's my dream and that's my goal as a footballer, because I know what football can do for someone's life. I know what it can do for your family's well-being. I can know what it does, for J community, when abantu they feel so proud, when you meet abantu estradweni from the community, abo mama badala, abo mama that you ukhule estradweni udlala ibhola phambi kwendlu yabo. Yeah, when I used to kick your ball inside my yard, this and this. But you know what, Ntanami, we are proud of what you did. We are proud of what you did for your family. We're proud of this. We are proud of that. Those are the things that, for me now, I cherish the most. Besides the cars, besides the money, besides, the trophies. Of course, we need those as well. But, that human touch, that human element is also important for us as humans. Because at the end of the day, we are humans before we are footballers. You know what I mean? So
yes.
when I think I feel more proud when I do that, when I inspire someone than when I score a goal. You know what I mean? The other day, me and Patosi, we did something with my foundation.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yes, trying to also to help with people. And I was also, this whole time I'm thinking, and I'm so happy. It feels like I just played a football game, and I scored a hat-trick against Kaizer Chiefs, and I'm man of the match, and this, I felt like that, and I was like, there's more to life than football, actually. And it's important that we use the influence that we had. We went to this other place where there's 9 families that were struck by fire. Their shacks were burnt. Now they are staying in this hall. And then so while we do this handover of these parcels and food parcels and stuff and toiletries, and then one lady, an old lady, my friend, and I didn't even imagine that. And then she said, you know what, Mark, Tina, we had given up, we and it's an old lady, we have given up. But by seeing you guys and seeing you and you guys coming here and you guys giving us these groceries and you guys in your presence, it gives us hope. Things will be better for us.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a young player or a young boy that plays football. I'm talking an old lady that maybe is the same age as my mom. You know what I mean? So when you do that to someone, and for me, it's a big thing, and also, with this other old lady, 8 years old, she was crying, in front of us. It was very emotional, and it was like emotional draining to see an old lady crying because, she didn't know when her next meal will come from. You know what I mean? So now, when you do this to these people and you see the love that they get, and now you go back to what you do on the field and the respect that you get and the love that you get from the supporters, and when you dribble someone, how they cheer for you, it felt the same, and it felt even more greater than that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's also important, just to say, it's important for us as people of influence to try and influence abantu positive.
Yeah, in a positive way.
Abantu look up to us, and abantu see us as these role models, and these boys see us as these role models. So we must use that in a good way, not in a bad way to get help.
Yeah, that's true. But Mark, thank you so much, man, for talking to us, man. I really like your story, and I've told you this before. I think that you still have so much more to give in football, on or off the field. But I'm really happy that we were able to have this chat, and I know we'll still do more, like in the near future.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mark.
Maybe you can call Coach Peace and tell him to sign.
I'll find a way to slide your name in a conversation someday.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, my brother. It's a pleasure, and I really respect you and the work that you do, and with the other guys as well.
Yeah.
I remember when we did the first Masandawana blog,
yeah,
with the Peace Tower as well. So, also with what you're doing, my friend, keep on going. It's not easy. It's not an easy world. We had a conversation at Kilton Stadium. We didn't even watch the game, but we were talking about football, talking about, you know, life as well. So it's important to have these kind of conversations that we can inspire people as well. That's, I think, for me now, that's the most important thing that we can do for our people, you know. And thank you for having me on your show. And I hope that, you know, I can touch someone's life and change someone's life, you know.
Yeah, it definitely will. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you so much, my brother.
Sure, my friend. Thanks.